aesthetic going. So, like, all my material components for spells are all like hanging off of like ropes and woven like netting on my body. I've got no armor. I have white tribal paint all over me. I have a large skull that hangs over my head.
Your voice.
I can hear your voice.
Oh,
I hear the sultry sound of your voice.
hello, the sultry sound of my voice. That's got to be one of my favorite movies. Change.
Oh, that's not good.
Whoa.
So you're like your character's like the opposite of mine, as a mechanical gnome.
Oh, yeah, right. Very much so.
I'm playing an auto gnome, but everyone here in Eberron will just think that I'm a short warforged.
Warforged, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking of doing a warforged as well, but I wanted to not clash with any of the other players.
Hello.
Eventually, I'll make a warforged. I do have a warforged character, but
Warforged are really cool to play, especially in like cleric, paladin, like heavy fighter classes. I think.
Mm.
I am a rogue, so.
Sorry, I was testing the mic. We're good now.
One day I'd like to play Tandy again. That's my goal. I don't know when that's going to happen, but...
This is...
Alright, audio should be working. Let me just go let everyone know that we're back live.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, I started the animated series. Yes. Watching the animated series.
Oh, how's that going? There's belugas.
Yes, I love the fist. I just started it, so I haven't...
I missed it. I want to see belugas. Ooh, I like that.
That's awesome.
We've got...
It looks like what you'd see in like big fancy coffee shops, big huge signs.
I mean, why not go silly and stylistic? Laura, you're a tiny robot. Oh shit!
Whoa!
I did something bad. Oh no! There we go, Laura. Here you are.
Love it.
Robot man.
Robot person. That's my first fan art.
That's yours. That's why I asked what circle you are. Because I was trying to get a lizard in there, and I was like, that's not gonna work. Got this.
Justice. Hammer of justice.
A hammer.
You got a missile? That's awesome.
Well, here's yours.
Why'd you put sheep on there?
Lightning.
And Jason?
Mm-hmm. That's himself.
Yep.
And everybody else who is not a character. Who's not a player character.
So I have heard that about the Star Trek animated series, that basically the main cast are the only voice actors, and so they voice act for every other character that exists.
Oh no!
So they are William Shatner as Kirk, and also every other character.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Okay. I'm just gonna give it another.
My favorite recent Star Trek was season 3 of Picard. Season 3 of Picard.
I haven't seen. I've only seen all of the original series now. I just started animated.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything about Picard here.
B has heard me talk about season 3 of Picard. And for the sake of everyone else, I will not.
I heard
He's not
bad
talking. I have a friend who also has opinions about it.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was Nito. That's all.
I'm just glad they didn't make any more. No. One and done.
Mm-hmm.
Any more what?
I said I'm just glad they didn't make it.
You keep cutting out, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. I heard they didn't make any more, and one and done. And I was like, "What? Is it me? It
Sorry.
might be me."
Is this better? I didn't do anything different. Am I just cutting out?
I mean, I can hear you for sure.
Okay. The joke kind of loses its punch after the third or fourth time. But I was saying, I'm glad they didn't make any Matrix movies.
Oh,
Matrix movies, Logan.
Just one and done.
Right. Yep.
All right.
I'm really happy about the amount of Indiana Jones movies there are. Just the 3.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're not going to make
Same
any
with
more.
Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Love Star Wars. All of them. All 3.
Oh, I see why my cameras were getting messed up. It's fine.
Speaking of movies, has anybody heard about whether or not they're going to ever make a movie out of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I'm just gonna cut in real quick and say that my brain heard speaking about boobies.
Here, here.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
That's just what I heard, and I know I'm just a perv. It's fine.
That's fine. Let's talk about boobies.
Oh, movies. Oh,
Movies.
I heard it too. It's okay.
Because I can't
Oh,
speak.
thank goodness.
But then I figured out. She's talking about
Freudian
movies.
slip.
Context clues, yeah. Context clues.
It's just they're always on our minds. That's all.
All right. DM, would you like to get this party started?
Are we live again?
Yes, we are.
Hi, everybody.
Absolutely. Are we live?
Yes, the sound is
Wonderful.
actually working
Great.
this time. We
Excellent.
Just had
We've been live this whole time.
For some reason,
Awesome.
the initial mixers weren't working, so we had to create new mixers for both audios.
Right. Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Good. Well, huge thanks to Dan for getting that working for us.
Thanks, Dan.
I will jump in and we can start us out, right?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to an exciting, action-packed, adventure-filled episode of Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Jason. I will be your guide to the light. And tonight, you brave and perhaps foolish adventurers have found yourselves in the world of Eberron. On the continent of Corvair, probably heading someplace, somewhere towards a special town, which we'll talk about soon enough, right? Eberron is a slightly different setting in Dungeons & Dragons, a little less traditional. It was actually the brainchild of, I can't remember the creator's name. Does anybody remember the creator of Eberron setting?
Nope.
We'll have to look it up, right? Someone's out there being like, "What's wrong with you? Why can't you remember?" It was a contest. They did like a huge contest of who could create this really cool setting, and this one guy like won. Eberron speaks a little bit to me of it's a little different from Faerun, from traditional like settings in D&D. Magic, for one thing, is much more commonplace, and it provides a lot of the little necessities and little niceties of life. Things like running water, climate control, transport, things like that. There's magic kind of everywhere, and it's more commonplace. At least the lower level magic, right? The land is the world is the known world is kind of ruled and administered by a number of guild houses, or they call them dragon marked houses. And these houses, these different groups, kind of administrate over certain things like, say, transport, protection, concealing different things, right? Eberron, as you walk about in the world of Eberron, you see things that you might not see in other settings. You see great airships in the skies, transporting large groups of people and things from one place to another. You see what we might call trains. In their world, they call them lightning rails. They float up a little above the ground, using electromagnetic energy to travel about at very high speeds. Things of that nature. And it is tonight that we find ourselves on one such train called the Lightning Express. And this adventure is actually called Murder on the Eberron Express, as it takes place in Eberron. We have 5 dynamic characters, and I kind of want to do just a quick round, and we'll kind of introduce each one, if that works. I want to start at the top with, let's start on the side with,
With whomst?
Jason Prose.
Fist.
Man. Oh, it's Fist.
Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sorry, it is.
All right. So Fist is a marked dwarf, mark of warding dwarf, and she is a barbarian monk, thanks to DM's generosity on rules. And yeah, she her full title is Fist of the Queen.
Love it.
So why don't we pass it to the next camera?
All right, Zylek, talk a little bit about your character, if you would. Played by Alex, right?
Yes. I am playing Zylek. I am a lizard cleric of Valinor who just recently multiclassed into druid. Find myself on this confangled contraption by the word of my god. Search out for a new chapel of their domain. The next.
All right. Next, we have Laura, who is playing Gilzoth.
Oh man, I'm
Talk to
not
us
ready.
a little bit about your character, Laura.
No one told me I was next.
Oh, you know what? I should have remembered to do that.
It's fine.
Prepare you.
I always being silly. I am playing Gilzath, who is an auto gnome, flavored as just a very, very small warforged in the setting. Rogue. And I am just here following in the footsteps of my awesome gnome dad, who was the world's greatest merchant ever. And I cannot wait to get to know everyone here and share our life stories together.
Excellent.
Next.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, and next we have our very own B playing Justice.
Hold on. I've done it for everybody else. I need to do it for myself as well. Okay.
Hey, there it is. What's the sound?
Hi.
Opening credits, man.
I'm Justice. I'm just on a train trying to get back to the Eldine Reaches. I have an apple orchard out there. I'm a paladin of, well, Oath of the Crown. Not that I'm going to tell you all this, right off the bat. Look, my ex-wife is in Fairhaven, and I just need to get over there, like, real fast, all right? Like, I don't have a whole lot else in my mind right now.
Wow, you were married? Can you tell us all about that?
No.
What's your character's race?
He is a half-orc.
Excellent. All right, and last but not least, we have B's spouse playing Elsbeth.
He doesn't get a name.
I watched the thing flip around and it distracted me. Sorry. Yes, I'm playing
That was a
Elspeth.
cool
Elspeth is a half-elf sorceress from one of the major houses, a dragon marked, and she has some strong opinions on the inferiority of lightning rail versus airships, but she is attempting to keep those to herself.
You can tell me.
She could.
Excellent. Right on. Okay, very cool. As I do with each when I start each game, there's two attributes I kind of like to just be aware of and write down. I do have access to character sheets, but it's good to have some quick notes. So I'll go through the list. Fist, tell me your armor class and your passive perception, if you would, real quick.
Ooh, did I calculate my... Yes, I did calculate my passive perception. Okay. My armor class is 15. And my passive perception is 14.
All right, good. Gilzaf, your armor class and passive perception?
So my armor class is really cool. It is 17. And my passive perception is also really cool. These are just really cool traits. I love this about everyone. Is a 15.
Right.
How is my armor class 17? I'm not wearing any armor.
You're made of metal.
Dexterity.
You're little. You have a high dex.
Okay.
Dexterity. Pretty good. Justice, your armor class and passive perception?
Passive perception is a 12. We're doing well here, everybody. Armor class, however, is an 18.
Yeah.
18.
Sorry, what was that again?
18. 1-8.
18. You got it.
With those
1-8.
hit points.
Excellent.
Those hit points,
And
you don't need an armor.
Elspeth.
Elspeth has a
Right.
passive perception of 11, and the armor class will depend on the presence of mage armor. Without mage armor, it's 13. With mage armor, it is 16.
Gotcha. All right, I got both numbers down. Okay, very cool. So with that, let's get started. Welcome to Eberron. You're all kind of a little bit. Sorry. Yeah. Did you have a question?
Well, yeah, you missed somebody.
I have yours. I had access to yours. Sorry about that. I have you as armor class 16 and passive perception 18. Right?
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that you have it literally right there.
Cool. You got it. Yep. And you'll be happy to know that of all the characters in this adventure, you are the most perceptive. You're not missing a detail, for the most part. So that is
first
good.
Time for me.
Right, it is good. Let me move us over to the battle map, and we'll drop in and set the scene. So you find yourselves right now on what is perceptively the dining car of this lightning rail. Speeding across the land. It is kind of early evening, kind of settling in, and this is kind of the spot where during mealtime everyone kind of comes and hangs out. At least the first class passengers, they kind of come in and schmooze a bit, enjoy some food, enjoy some music, have a drink or two. You're all kind of a little bit strung out from the journey. This is the second day of the train ride. Thankfully, you've all been able to secure some fairly comfortable accommodations aboard the train, but it is the second day of traveling, and everyone's just kind of chilling at the moment. There are a few passengers here and there, moving back and forth. I'll start with the Roans. Xylek, kind of hanging out up there in the upper corner. Tell me what your character's thinking about right now and what you're up to.
Well, first and foremost, this is the first time I've ever really been outside of the what was it called? The
marshes, the dark
marsh,
shadow,
dark
blood marshes. Sorry,
Shadow marches.
Shadow marches. Yeah. So yes, this is really the first time I've ever been outside of more of my own natural. It's been 3 days now that we've been on the the train?
Yeah, it's the end of the second day right now.
Oh, so the first day, I pretty much was like kept in a corner and was kind of, I don't know, catatonic. Everything is still so new. But I was guided here by my God, and now that it's been a few hours, I'm slowly getting used to the movements, sounds, the utility of this more civilized setting. So it's getting some time to get used to it all, but still kind of keeping to myself and I don't know, trying to take in any comfort that I can. So I found a nice little bush here in the corner, and I'm trying to hide myself in the foliage.
Excellent. Kind of taking cover, a little bit of maybe kind of a combat park, and kind of trying to be perceptive of that, right?
Yeah.
Fist, I see you sitting there. Tell me what you're up to, what you're thinking about.
Fist is eating a meal right now, and she, I'm assuming, is coming back from a mission that she was sent on by the Queen, and is just now getting ready to head back and report, and is just keeping an eye out as best as she can of anyone causing any trouble in the train. If she sees anything that happens within her queen's domain as an attack to her as well.
Okay. Excellent. So a sense of duty, being on guard, trying to be perceptive of all that happens within that kingdom, right? Gilza, kind of hanging out near at the bar.
Yeah. So, are there any other gnomes anywhere on this train car? In this train car?
At the moment, you don't see any. No, there are a few kind of passengers kind of passing back and forth, moving up the train. Some are taking tables. They're kind of sauntering in a little bit and taking seats here and there.
Well, I then am sitting at the bar, chatting with any of the NPCs that happen to be stopping there long enough to get a drink. Kind of looking around and just, wow, this is really cool. You know, there are so many people here, so many new faces, so many old acquaintances. I absolutely love chatting with people. I will not attempt to do so, as Laura does not love chatting with people. And
sure.
Just making fast friends with everyone who lets me.
Okay. Excellent. All right, very cool. And then next, we have Justice. Can I take a seat there on that big comfy sofa?
Well, so taking a seat on that big comfy sofa with a glass of something, probably would be. Are we actually all riding first class here? This is something I need to clarify with you.
So you were each actually able to acquire some pretty comfortable accommodations. First class that's you have like your first class cabins. You have access to the dining car as well.
This is an unusual thing for him. He grew up on a farm, so sitting in a first class dining car on the lightning rail isn't exactly something that he's used to in terms of luxury, and so he's probably staring down at this glass of something, looking at it, thinking about the coins in his pocket, looking over at Elspeth, kind of looking around like, I am bringing down the property value here, and
you are raising.
I'm going to try and be inconspicuous as possible, but that is a very difficult thing to accomplish, given that he is a whopping, where'd I put it, 6 foot something. Yeah, he's probably a good 6'2", 6'3", and built like a brick shit house. So
I have a third of your height.
All right.
Just kind of looking
Right.
around,
Like,
taking stock. Yeah, not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's I mean, you're trying to fit in as best you can, but it's you're taking up all that couch, right?
So is this
Okay.
typical? Is the question he's going to throw at Elspeth, who I think might be next.
Okay. Yeah, and Elsbeth, you received that question from Justice, looking about.
Elspeth is clearly quite comfortable in these accommodations and understands what luxury is, and may also think that this isn't quite it. But that's neither here nor there. And she looks over to Justice with a little bit of, if you act like you belong here, people won't think you don't. So perhaps you should, stop looking like you're a farmer out of place and just pretend you know what's happening for a moment or two. And
I'm going to wait to retort.
She will casually pick up her glass of wine and have a sip.
Okay. Awesome. All right, and tell me a little bit about your physical appearance, Justice. I mean, do you feel like you fit in what you're wearing and things like that? Is it unusual, or is that?
You know how you wear like shitty clothes when you go to the airport? Like you don't dress to the nines, you wear comfort. That's what he's got going on right now. He's not wearing his, knight armor. He's not, wielding a big old weapon at his side or anything like that. He's just kind of probably got his hair up in a man bun with a cloak. That's not how he has his hair up. But yeah, the equivalent of, jeans and flannel, but fantasy jeans and flannel.
Jeans and flannels. Maybe sweats and flip-flops.
Cowboy boots. Let's be real.
Cowboy boots. There you go. All right, you got it.
First piece of fan art, just FYI.
There you go.
Thank you. Oh, they're so little.
That is a very large apple.
It is a very large apple, also because I'm drawing with pen, and I started it, and I was like, "That's the size now."
That's the size. Okay, so as you all kind of taking in the scene, you do start to see different people kind of funnel in here and there. Various passengers, patrons, things like that. You see a group of people sitting at this table here, and that last token I did not upload. I tried to send it in because my internet is yucky slow right now. But we'll see what happens. So you do kind of see people kind of coming in and taking a seat and having, kind of having a look around, beginning to order food, things like that. It's nearing dinner time here on the Eberron Express. You kind of hear conversation beginning to kind of begins to, kind of start to fill the room. People kind of talking back and forth. You hear, different people. You hear some people kind of complaining this and here and then about how things are going on the train. You see some people just kind of casually speaking back and forth about what's going on at home, what they plan to do when they reach their destination, things like that. You do see kind of a stately-looking group of people here at this table, and they're all just kind of chatting back and forth. And one by one, people are kind of filtering in and kind of acknowledging them and acknowledging their party. A couple of other people are kind of sitting by themselves here, for instance, awaiting their meal and kind of sipping slowly at their glass of whatever they have ordered to drink. Let's see. I see Gilzap kind of moving about, right, looking to be social, right?
Yes.
Tell me what you're up to.
I got up off the bar because it seems like everyone had stopped ordering drinks for the moment, and just made my way. I made my way over to this table. Greeted the passenger over here.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Gilzaf. What's your life story? No. How's your day going? How are you enjoying the travel? That kind of line of Small talk? Why did I pick this character?
Right.
If I don't receive warm answers, I'll go on to the next person. And this is like, I'm not trying to like be bothersome and annoying by just keeping talking to you, even though you're like, I'm reading a book, please leave.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to introduce myself to literally everyone.
When you come up to me, I'm going to go, do you work for the train? Do I have to tip you?
Oh, no, please do not tip me. I do not work for the train.
Justice,
I am a
roll a
passenger just like yourself.
You want me to roll a perception check? All right, let's do that.
I would like you to do
Do that with my amazing passive perception of 12. If that's not going to cut it, here's my perception check.
I forgot to.
Oh my god.
I forgot
I'll take a 20.
Switch your character sheet to toggle because it rolled advantage. But
That's
either
fine,
way,
I'll take the 20.
Either way, you can hear Elspeth sigh audibly.
Kind of just look over and lower his voice even more and go, because if I do have to tip you, I actually don't have all that much gold on me. I'm kind of waiting to get to Fairhaven in order to get paid the rest of the way.
There is an audible groan to follow.
You will not hear me complaining at all about the amount of gold that any of these passengers carry. I am just here to have a good time. I'm just making my way up the trade routes so that I can pick up some supplies, so that I can make my own way down. I too am a working man.
Pardon me for saying this, but you are how's the politic way to ask this? You are very small and very middle. So I've never quite seen anything like you. I don't how do you
Sorry about that. Working on it.
I was looking at my phone, and the second I looked up in the screen, big image of this goofy face.
I love this.
Whilst participating in such in social conversation, you do see kind of a big burly man kind of burrow through the door a little bit. Long leather trench coat covered in small decorations, little tools here and there and whatnot. And he kind of steps past each of you. He gives you the
no, he froze.
The eyebrows and the cheeky smile, and he steps up to the bar. Steps on up and says, looks around, and he looks at Justice and says, "I'll have what he's having."
Here's brother. He's gonna say, holding up his whiskey.
I want.
Hey, gotta live it up, right?
Fist is gonna clock him immediately. Like.
Okay.
The new guy, just like as soon as he walks in, like as soon as anyone walks in, her eyes like turn to attention. So now her eyes are on him.
Okay. All right, and he kind of turns around and leans back up against the bar, and he's got his drink in one hand, he's got his elbows up on the bar, looking about and looking around, and he's doing the doing the 180 with his head looking about. He sees you kind of looking at him, sees your eyes kind of piercing into him a little bit. And he just sends the friend, sends the friend signal, just kind of like nodding and smiling here and there.
Without smiling, I'll send a nod back.
There you go. Okay. All right. Let's see. If anybody's interested, some of you might. This guy looks a little bit familiar. You're not real certain about. Maybe you might have seen this person before, but you're not sure. And welcome to kind of roll.
Yeah, what do you want to roll?
We can do some perception. Let's do history. We'll do history.
History.
Oh baby, here we go.
Very contemporary history. Let me know what everyone's got.
9.
Those of you who are kind of curious about this individual.
I want to do
a 9
history, but can I also do an insight to see?
Ooh, yeah.
Like. What's what he's doing here, or like what he seems to be doing here?
Yeah, I definitely like an insight as well.
Bet.
My history was only a 9.
Okay.
I also got
okay.
My history was an 8.
Okay.
My insight was a dirty
All right.
20.
9 from Silas. Okay, dirty 20 on the insight. Okay.
And my
Anybody beat a
insight,
9 for history?
Elspeth got a 15.
15. Okay.
my insight was only a 9.
Okay. All right.
Which is really sad because I just rolled really low. I have this +6 to insight.
Okay, there we go. I've been on the wrong. Okay, I see these rolls. All right, good. So 15 on insight, right? Who rolled the insight?
History.
We had roll insight from Gilzaf and
I got a dirty 20 for insight.
dirty 20 on insight from Fist. Okay, everybody else just did history with the high ranking a 15 from Elspeth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got it. All right, so Fist, this person just kind of appears to be just kind of like a traveling, maybe like a traveling salesman kind of person. Obviously, it looks like they have business on the train, or traveling for business. It looks like you've seen different people, different merchants, and things like that traveling. Obviously, some kind of a merchant. Elsbeth, you're kind of like going through your brain, and you're pretty certain you've seen. Like on the different like messages. Sometimes when there's when someone sends like a sending station or a message station to communicate with people. Sometimes different sales people hijack those messages and insert spam in those messages, advertising something or another. And you are pretty certain you don't remember what the name was, but you're pretty certain you've seen this person's face before, like advertising wagons and like to like sell wagons and things like that. So I think Laura just figured out who this is.
A history check. Laura knew.
Laura might have an
I wanted
advantage.
to.
But okay. Meanwhile, at the other table, the conversation seems to be kind of heating up a little bit at this spot. People are kind of going back and forth. Does anybody want to give into that conversation and try to perceive what's happening there?
Well, there are so many conversations I want to be in.
Yeah, I'll
we have
take an interest in there. Yeah.
19.
Okay, you got it. Okay, a 19 perception check on this conversation. Xylek, do you have a perception roll?
18.
Okay, cool. 19 from Fist, 18 from Xylek. You both hear conversation kind of it's kind of hard for me to kind of on the fly act it out, but it's getting pretty heated. There's an argument kind of ensuing over who had the rights to certain inventions, who had like kind of credentials to something that was created and done, and they're just absolutely getting the three gentlemen at the table. Credits over what was created and what was done. This individual is still staying pretty calm, actually, and just kind of maintaining composure. These two individuals, they both present female. They're both kind of keeping calm. This one more so than the other. This one seems a little bit troubled over the conversation over what's going on, whereas this one just seems to kind of be kind of staying there. But there's this heated conversation going up, and finally there's a fist slamming on the table, and he's like, I can't handle you anymore. You can't do this anymore.
Fist is gonna
I'll be in my cabin.
Fist is gonna kind of stand up at the sudden like bang on the table, but seeing as how he's walking away from this situation, she'll sit back down.
Okay.
She was getting ready to like intercept any fight, but since it seems like he's going to go cool off, then she's just going to sit down and just be at attention again.
Sure.
Gilzaf was super nosy and started walking over there as well.
Okay. Just kind of checking out the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got it. So this individual stands up, and apparently, I'll go off of your last perception roll. It looks like this is somebody who is probably involved in some kind of education, maybe from Arcanics, maybe from one of the different institutions round about. Somebody that may be involved in the study and creation of things like artifacts, blended with magic, things like that, artificery. They look like maybe a teacher or a professor from one of these universities or one of these institutions of learning. He stands up. You see a glance, obviously not real happy, but still kind of keeping civil, and quickly exits the train. Exits the train car and disappears into the yonder.
He just jumps out of the window.
Yeah, right.
He jumps right out of the window.
I've had enough of this.
Enough of this. As he passes by you, Zylek, he sees you kind of combat parking there by the plant, and kind of gives you the glance. Obviously, not real happy with what transpired at the table, and he kind of is a little bit preoccupied with that, and he kind of a little bit through the doorway. He kind of hits the button to open up the little the ward or the portal that leads to the next car, and then kind of steps through and kind of like hits his shoulder on his way out a little bit.
Sure.
Can
I
this individual? Go ahead.
Can I detect any sort of weaponry on this person?
They do have some rules about weaponry on the train, and we should have discussed this before. They don't allow like magic items, magic weapons on the train. So those of you who got through them on your person,
they didn't want to let me on the train, sure. But
that's right.
Sorry for the timing, babe.
Does kind of there, right? The conductor does kind of check for weapons, so you're pretty sure. You can't necessarily tell. Actually, well, you could maybe go ahead and give me a quick perception roll on that one. We'll put that to the dice and let the dice tell a story there. Zylek?
It was a 10.
Okay, it's a 10. You don't see anything that would stand out. I mean, you're pretty good at like kind of looking at somebody and saying, and you can kind of see where they would likely conceal a weapon. And you don't really see anything that might bulges or anything on his person where a weapon might be stored. They don't appear terribly dangerous to you. They look like a professor, somebody who is, in your dealings with other humanoid races. You've met some who are teachers and scholars and things like that. This looks like one of them. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Noted.
So that guy, he steps through the door, not through the window. This individual says, "Well, you pretty much burned all the bridges at this table, Egan." He wipes his mouth and steps away from out of the table and says, "I'm afraid I've lost my appetite as well." He turns and looks at this individual and says, "Marie," and she stands up and kind of reluctantly goes, and then they both leave the train through the door, not through the window, right?
I'll just jump out of the window. This is the real murder.
This is the real murder. They just start jumping off the train, and you get to figure out why, right?
The real murder was the people we met along the way.
Back on. Sorry, you all froze for a little bit. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody want to throw? We'll move to a new roll for new story. Anybody want to throw any kind of checks or anything on these individuals as they pass by?
I'd like to give them the look over.
Gilzap would like to do an insight on the two that left, both of them.
Sure. Okay.
And I have +6, so that's a 23 for the lady, and a 19 for the first one.
The professor.
Okay.
Not the professor, but the one that said, "Well, you burned some bridges here."
Got it.
Okay. And
Jason?
okay. The second individual that caught up. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Before I forget, I also kind of want to eye the people who are going by, not necessarily to case and see what they've got on their person, etc. But I'm trying to get the vibe coming off of them and to miss any conversation that I might have been, trying to not hear because it wasn't my business. So,
okay.
I don't know how you want me or what you want for that. But.
So you're a little ways away well, go ahead and run a perception check. We'll increase some DC since you're kind of on the other side of the train a little bit, but you have a feeling you'll be able to kind of get a general idea of what's happening there.
16.
Okay, we're on a 16. Okay, good. 16 from you, 18 and 19 on from Gilzaf, right?
26 and 19.
So 26 and 19. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, 26 and 19. Okay, so what you're both kind of able to perceive is that the individual who stood up, Elspeth, you kind of just heard the individual say something dismissive. You didn't really hear them say you burned bridges at the table, but you heard him say something kind of dismissive and obviously displeased with what's happening. He stood up, wiped his mouth. He called to another individual at the table. The lady stood up and kind of followed him out. You do think that the first individual that stood up, actually both of them, they're very well dressed. And you can sometimes kind of look at people on the street and kind of pinpoint a little bit maybe what they do for a living. You can tell some of these might be like professional, or maybe they work someplace else, or you can kind of draw some conclusions. These two both look very professional in their. It looks like maybe just business. Maybe just like successful merchants, or some kind of somebody involved in the exchange of commerce in some manner. They both look like that. Gilzaf, you notice something a little bit more. As these two passed, there was a gaze that was held between this individual and this individual. Ooh. As they passed. And it's just kind of held a gaze a little too long, almost like an uncomfortable exchange that kind of walked through and moved. That's all that you notice. And they exit that way, not this way off the train. Okay.
I am going to take. I guess I can't really take the receipts because I'd have to make the other two scooch. But I am going to table height. Gilzaf. I cannot lean on the table. The table can lean on me.
Okay.
Wow, that was an explosion. What did he do to you guys? Hi, I'm Gilzaf, by the way. Introduce myself. I'm gonna get some introductions going with these people. Names, those are important.
Okay. You got it. Let me see here. All right. So yeah, just kind of talking. They're a little taken aback by your kind of by your approach. The table kind of leans a little bit towards you, and they both kind of gaze upon this. Is it like a dwarven warforge, or tell me a little bit about how you're built there?
I'm a gnomish warforged. And I'm 2'4", so I'm tiny.
Okay.
I look kind of gnome-like in my features, but I'm also, at the same time, rotund, just like rotund.
I'm just thinking roly-poly-oly, if
Sure.
anyone knows that.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
My token is an appropriate sort of rotundness, just more gnome-like versus this is kind of a little bit more dwarf-like.
Gotcha. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So the gentleman in glasses, he's kind of wearing these interesting specs, and he kind of leans forward a little bit, and he kind of speaks. You're an inquisitive one. Gnomish Warforged. What generation are you? He's kind of asking about like any kind of stats or anything like that.
So I actually am a bespoke Warforged made specifically for my father. You may know him. or may have heard of him. His name was Inziver Brazit Tiffleton.
Can I roll a check to recognize that name?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Would that be like a
You may have heard of him, just like any other person who thinks their dad is really cool thinks that everyone else has heard of him.
Okay, so probably not. Yeah. So would that be like a history?
Let's do a history check. Yeah.
Okay. 13.
Okay.
Would you like me to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead. Off of a 13.
So depending on whether or not your character knows much about the gnomish house, Decivis is the pretty dragon marked house of the gnomes.
Which house?
But that just kind of sounds like
which house was it? Because
it's Civis, the messenger people. Actually, yeah, you probably would know because the Civis messenger system is like how you send mail in Corvair.
Okay.
So you would recognize that part. The rest of it just sounds like a gnome name.
Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, do they use De Civis?
I never used Decivis,
okay.
And I don't use Decivis.
Then probably without you using that name for him, she probably
I used it for him.
Oh, you did use it for him.
Like when I said you might know my father, I included his entire full name, including that Decivis, but Gilzaf does not put Decivis at the end of his name.
Okay.
Like, I would have introduced myself to you as I was introducing myself to everyone in the car, and I would not have used Decivis.
Okay. I would at least just recognize that name then, maybe not that person specifically, but the ending moniker.
Yeah. Okay. So you may not may or may not really recognize that name. However, there's a flash of familiarity on the face of this individual that you've asked. If you recognize the name of your father, Gilzaf. Says, yes. I don't know. I never know him. I did not know him personally, but he sounds like somebody that you can certainly trust. Eh?
Oh, absolutely. My father is the most trustworthy person who has ever sold you any amount of product ever.
Indeed. I worked with many of the gnomish clans and gnomish groups in working my artificer and in working my artificer inventions, all those things.
What was your name? My father might have known you and spoken well of you.
I'm Egan. Egan. What's the last name? Because I read through the adventure within like a 24-hour period, so how much I actually retained may remain questionable. I introduces him as Egan. I think it's Bacchus. Let me double check. Well, I won't worry about it right now. I don't want to wreck the rhythm. But he introduces himself as Egan. And says, I'm an inventor. I create fascinating things that help lots of people. If you don't mind me asking, is that a bit of a twitch when you move about just a little bit?
Oh, well, the diodes all down my left side do sometimes ache, but it's nothing major. I'll probably get it looked at when I get back home. Probably.
Wait.
Yes, that was a reference. Be fine. I saw that one.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I do have certain talents, and I can do things very quickly. He reaches behind, and kind of reveals like a pocket, and it's loaded with quick tools. He says, "Would you like an increase to your stature? I could do so very, very quickly."
An increase to no, actually, my father had me custom built to his specifications, and I would like to honor his memory by keeping those specifications. Thank you, though.
Of course, I'll certainly respect that. The tables, however, not. But that is your choice. He kind of covers up the flap back, and then the other individual at the table begins to speak. And she's not very happy. All of that generosity, all of those beautiful gifts, and yet you still cannot find it within your heart to be respectful and to give your partners and those who worked so hard to put you so high on the top their due. She stands up and says, "You disgust me, husband," and she walks away.
Wow.
Muted. I was going to say,
out the window.
that's something that Justice has familiarity with, that sort of scathing tone from one spouse, and that's going to prick his ears up, and he's going to go, ooh.
I absolutely want to know everything about this man and the rest of his party, and will small talk into this. I cannot do it myself, like as Laura, but that is my intention. Is to get glean every single piece of information about this man's life history from him.
Okay.
Because that is interesting.
Got it. We can put it to the rolls, and you want to engage this person in some convo, right?
Yeah. Small talk conversation that might lead into some like more technical stuff or anything like that. But
sure. Okay. Does anybody else want in on this? Obviously it might be a little awkward if everybody kind of rushes the dude and wants to talk. Does anybody else? But it might accommodate one or two more individuals at the table. You can see it's just Gilzaf and Egan speaking right now. But if anybody else wants to step in.
I'm going to totally be subtle, real subtle, like 100% subtle, kind of pick up my glass of whiskey and look over at Elspeth and say, "I'm going to move seats. All right, I'll be back."
Sure.
And he's going to just sort of take a seat over here by the lizard folk man, kind of look at him and go, "Oh, hopefully you weren't saving that seat. Sorry about that." And then make cash.
Sure.
I'm staying out of this. They're practically speaking a whole different language.
Brother. And he's going to raise his glass.
Okay.
I'm just making sure nothing comes to fists.
Okay.
Well, did you say that? Like icily?
Keeping an eye on the spirit of the situation.
No. Do I know this person who was sitting across from me, though?
You don't. You seem to be just kind of a random train patron.
Okay.
Or a train passenger. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do they look
Currently
like there's an imminent threat of them jumping out of a window?
They're currently enjoying a plate full of what looks like maybe pasta, Eberronian pasta.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy pasta. There's probably a cookbook for that.
They're just kind of stuffing a big forkful in their mouth right now, and washing that down with some Eberronian ale. Right. Okay. So yeah, Gilzaf. Tell me what you do. Do you stand where you are, or do you engage in conversation? Try to have a seat. Tell me. Talk to me about your approach.
Since his wife left, I am going to slide into her seat and I am going to make myself comfortable. I do not have any sort of glass because I don't know, just don't drink.
Okay.
But
sure. Okay, he's watching you kind of quizzically a little bit. He's a little curious about you.
I'm also not sitting in the seat. I am standing, and I still barely make it over the table.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. What a lovely woman that was. What's her name? I don't. How do you have small talk?
Yeah.
Why did I choose this character type?
Let's.
Oh, huh.
Sorry, Jason, you froze.
Yeah, Jason, you froze for me too.
Sorry, tell me. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Tell me a little bit about your character's charisma. What's a charisma score?
My charisma score
Yeah, guess so.
is a 15.
Okay.
I have do I have? I don't think I have expertise in persuasion. Yeah, I don't have expertise in persuasion or anything. So like, no real like other than just straight charisma ability to like tickle information out of a person.
Sure. Okay, no problem. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of within your that's within your, I don't know if you want to call it programming or within your being, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to kind of like engage in conversation and able to kind of handle the rhythm of conversation and things like that. But so with that, let's put it to a roll. Let's see, you're looking to kind of get more story out of this person, right? Getting them to open up a little bit. And there's a skill set to that in conversation. Go ahead and let's see what story the dice have to say.
Okay. And is this a persuasion or just straight charisma?
We'll do. Let's see. I'll give you the choice. You can do persuasion, or you can do like a subtlety. I'd love a sleight of hand skill.
I would love a sleight of hand.
Not really a sleight of
too.
hand, but it's not really a sleight of hand, but it's kind of a sleight of word, a sleight of conversation, that kind of thing. But let's do. Kind of how
sleight of hand roll is a 29.
Okay. So we'll save that for physicals. What's your charisma check?
Sad. My charisma is a 24. I rolled a 19.
Okay. All right, that's good. Okay.
Wait, I think that's plus 5.
So yeah, a couple things.
Don't quote that 20. No, it's plus 2. Okay. So it is 21. Sorry, I can math real good.
Okay. Sure. Okay, good. So a couple things happen during that conversation. You're able to kind of engage them a little bit. You're able to kind of share empathy. You're able to kind of send the I'm a friend kind of signals. You're able to kind of get them to open up a little bit about themselves. At some point during the conversation, you made them feel safe. You made them feel like they could kind of relate to you a little bit on certain levels. And most importantly, you made him feel good about himself. These kind of things kind of help people to open up and feel safe in those conversations. You were great at sharing empathetic statements and share, kind of like how you may not be able to understand perfectly what he's going through or what he has been through, but you're able to kind of develop a picture in your own mind to kind of relate to that. You can imagine fairly clearly how he feels, what he's been through, and in doing that through the course of the conversation, he just kind of opens up a little bit. He starts kind of spilling the beans, I guess. Egan is an inventor. He's worked for his whole life. He's trying to become recognized by House Caniff. And he's been trying to appeal to one of the leaders of House Caniff to become recognized and enter into that house. However, his mom was disgraced. And they wanted nothing to do with him or his family. So he's currently on his way to Fairhaven to appeal to a different House Caniff authority figure, and to try and gain access to that. He's developed a really cool new weapon system that gives the wielder a pretty cool advantage in its use. Something that could kind of just really help with I don't know, assassinations or whatever. And he's hoping to bring that in value. But however, you also gather from him that he's kind of a little bit full of himself. You get this, how you kind of, in talking to people, you kind of start to, maybe red flags kind of show up during the conversation, and you kind of like figure out certain things. It kind of strikes you as the person who will see their own interests and will be selfish in things like crediting people or credibility and seeking profits, those kind of things. You just kind of get a sense that the guy is brilliant, but you wouldn't really want to be in business with him or wouldn't want to have ties to him in any way where you would have to depend upon him for those things, because he just might screw you over to take the loot and take the glory all to himself. You really get a sense of all of that.
So he's every dude in
so
academia. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
Every
Right.
dude in academia. That's unfortunate.
You did all of the work, but his name is first on that document.
That's too
I
bad.
work in higher ed. I know how this goes. So
Community college. Just kidding. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
Sorry, you do
Everyone kinda
occasionally like
froze.
break
Okay.
off a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, but it's coming through. Sorry, my
Yeah.
my internet connection is kind of yucky this evening. But okay, good. So yeah, that's kind of what we were able to get. Do you have any specific questions about him or his story or anything like that?
His wife's name.
Elsieth. ELS. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, ELSEATH. Elsieth.
Okay. The dude that stormed off's name.
The first one or the second one who stormed off?
Well, actually, both of them.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, the first one that stormed off was a business partner.
Okay.
For a while, they were setting up a line of distribution, different trinkets and things like that. He didn't spin the story like Egan didn't spin the story like this, but you get a sense that he just kind of messed the dude out of a lot of profit and out of a lot of money, I guess.
Ooh, yeah.
The second individual that stormed off was another scholar who was pretty angry that he didn't get credit for that his name wasn't close to the top of that publication. Seems like a recurring story this evening, but he was upset about that. But of course, Egan spun it in a way that these people didn't deserve that. They didn't do that much. I did most of the work. I did the heavy lifting.
And what was the two guys' names? Sorry.
Yeah. It doesn't give them. They give them. Let me see here.
So, Ted and John.
Ooh, I love those guys.
I know, right? That'd be right.
They do great work.
Yeah.
It was
It was a door. It was a door business, actually.
It was a door business. Ted John's door business, right?
Franchises
Which may or may not
with
make an
Eberron.
appearance in this area, right? The first dude that stormed off was Theosin, the business partner.
Theosin.
Uh-huh. The second guy that stormed off was Jameis. And Jameis left with a woman who's apparently named Marion.
Marion.
Mm-hmm.
The librarian.
God damn it, I get enough of that from him. No, I don't need it from you two, Laura.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I picked the wrong name.
And so that's all the information that I would want from them, not all of it, but like the important stuff for this. So while I'm chatting with him, feel free to do other things.
Okay. You got it.
Oh no, I'm just listening to you.
Yeah, let's check in with some other players. Xylek kind of hanging out in the corner there, observing this conversation. You're close enough to kind of hear what they're talking about. Any actions or anything you want to do on your part, real quick?
Xylek has been slowly and surreptitiously eating the plant that's next to him.
Okay.
I really want this to be a fake plant.
He has not been. He hasn't really realized that you can go up to the counter and ask for. So for the past 2 days, he's been kind of
Snacking.
Yeah. So
snacking on the plants.
Kind of like, I mean, oh man, I didn't even think about this. I didn't take good berry. I didn't take treat.
Wow.
Or anything for my spells.
Right.
Oh well, you know what?
I'm so glad you found that plant.
I can change it. I can change them up, per day. So after the first day, because I can just prepare different spells.
Do I need to roll to see him kind of just idly
Yeah.
snacking on a plant? He's like right there.
Yeah, I'll create a brew or create water, and it's just me like create it a little bit and I splash in my hands, and I eat good berries. So I'll create a good berry, and
Okay.
that's what I've been kind of just surviving on. But for the most part, I really am just keeping to myself, listening in on the conversation, and especially now after we had conflict, I'm now starting. At first, just kind of trying to ignore everyone and get through this train ride. But now that uh, some activity is happening, more people keep coming in and out of this train car, and these people are starting to kind of converge. Now I'm gonna start poking my head over the back seat that I'm, sat behind, and I'm just gonna start kind of gauging everyone that's here, and you just take it all in at this. Now I'm past the point of system shock. Now it's environmental surveying.
Okay, you got it. So with that kind of a more comfort level setting in, you do begin to kind of notice things. Your character is extremely perceptive, very watchful, and you do notice patterns in how people are nourishing and sustaining themselves in this environment. You do see them every now and then going up to this counter here,
Right.
On the other side of the train, and they're asking for things, and they're getting it. Food items and drinks. Every now and then, someone will pass by these tables that people are sitting at, and they'll literally just ask, can I get you something? And they'll name what it is they want, and they bring it. It's an interesting it's kind of a cool situation about what's happening. You gather that you might be able to blend in well enough to follow that same pattern. It's tricky, but it's a little outside your comfort zone at the moment. But up to you, if that's something you'd like to do. Anything else you'd like to do, or
At this point, I mean, especially this burly half-orc character has kind of come up, acknowledged me, tried to spark up some conversation.
Okay.
And is watching you eat a plant.
Yeah. I'll feel confident enough that maybe just a little embarrassed that I'm chewing on this plastic plant. And I'll stand up at this point, and I'll make my way to the bar. Actually, and
you got it.
I'll kind of sheepishly walk past everyone and strong thing.
Sure.
More grog or mud swill.
Okay. You got it.
Gotta make sure I don't slip my other gutturally voice I have for another character. Pardon me. Do you have anything alcoholic here?
And the gentleman, the individual behind the bar, laughs and says, "We have everything alcoholic here. What would you like?"
Dealer's choice.
Of course. He reaches back and kind of comes back with a carafe and a small mug that's kind of ornately detailed, like all the glasses and mugs on this craft. And he pours this liquid into it, and it kind of hits your nostrils a bit. It's a bit strong. It does reek of alcohol or of sorts. And says, "Do enjoy, friend." And he reaches behind him and puts the carafe back.
All right. I flick my tongue in and out a little bit, which is forked, of course. I just test the air above the drink to see whether or not I get an idea that I might might partake and see how it is, and I'll just
Okay.
walk back, go back to my. I'll actually sit in this cushion here and slowly sip on my drink.
Okay, you bet. A couple things happen as you make your way back. You do notice this gentleman, big burly dude, very friendly. He kind of reaches up and he kind of gives you the nod and says, "How are you, friend?" As you walk, as you order your drink.
Once I hand my drink, I give him a nod, as I've seen everyone else do, and then just turn my back and walk away.
You got it. He just kind of
All the
watches
way
you,
back.
smiling a little bit. Okay. Good. And a couple of glances that fall upon you as you're moving back to your seat that you notice who you are and whatnot. But yeah, eventually you find you're able to sit there. Justice, what's happening
should get
in
Saf.
your seat?
You should get Saf,
Okay.
I think, because Saf hasn't had much of a chance to talk yet. I'll go after.
Okay, which one? Sorry? Yeah, Elsbeth?
Not Saf. Sorry, damn it, I already did it. Elspeth, that one. You should get Elspeth.
Elsbeth. You got it. Elsbeth, we can move to you. Go ahead.
Oh, Elspeth has been radiating, just absolutely radiating the sense of these problems are not mine, and therefore I should not be involved with them, and one should not involve me with them. She is minding her own business so hard that her glass of wine is nearly empty, and she was just about to ask for another.
Okay. You got it. Ordering that up, the gentleman behind the bar pours it into a glass and sets it here upon the bar for you to come and get it.
She doesn't quite obviously sigh.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm checking a cantrip, and I should not use that cantrip for that.
You should do it. I think you should.
No.
Use a cantrip.
No, it is. No, that's not
Okay.
how that cantrip works. So we will not be using that cantrip, but she will actually stand up, cross the approximately, 10 feet to the bar with obvious reluctance. Say,
Okay.
thank you. Just thank you. Like that. And then go return to her seat.
Okay. As you reach for the glass, you hear the billowing voice right next to, coming right next from that great big burly dude at the bar whom you were hoping would not speak to you. Well, hey there, lady, what brings you aboard this here fine train? Let me tell you, that
Y'all
heat
didn't
is
know I had an
unbearable right
accomplice.
about now, isn't it? Let me tell you. Hey, when was the last time you bought a wagon?
She will turn very, very slowly to him. Why would I need a wagon?
If we ask him that question, he's going to answer it.
Hey, everybody needs a wagon, let me tell you.
No, everybody does not need a wagon. I do not need a wagon. I have no need for a wagon. If I want to go somewhere, I take a train like a normal person, or, better, I fly. I do not need a wagon.
You never had to transport anything in a wagon? Well, you're the first person I ever met. Well, paint me green and call me a watermelon. I just met me the first person in the whole wide land that never needs a wagon. Let me tell you. I'll tell you what. You give me. I want to know. I just want to know because I haven't run across anybody that has never had any kind of a need for a wagon of any kind. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ricky Diggins, wagon salesman extraordinaire. Okay, when he says his name, it strikes a memory within you, Elsbeth, and it obviously it annoys you to the core. This is definitely the person who spammed your sending messages, but this person was one of the most prolific wagon salesmen all throughout on there. They were. They were. That was until they lost their license, because it turns out their wagons were not really up to code. They kept breaking apart and falling and falling apart. And he's currently been kind of fighting to keep his business name and business under keep everything afloat.
DM.
But he's just kind of engaging you as that salesman. Yeah.
Can I roll a perception to see if I hear him say his name?
Same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I'm from a farm. I have a wagon. I have a need for a wagon.
Aw, darn, that's not a good perception check.
I bet I know
Yeah.
exactly who was the person that got him his business.
That was a 7.
Looked into.
Okay.
That's a
Was it
13.
7?
I can hear him. I think, probably. He didn't sound like he was being
All right.
quiet about it.
Okay. So Justice, you hear it. Fist, you're not sure. You think you might know who this person is. You didn't hear the name actually spoken. It was a quick open and shut case. They were obviously not operating up to code. The appropriate house that manages that kind of thing quickly stepped in and robbed him of his merchant's license, his merchantability. And
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna
he's
start
been trying ever since.
making my way over there.
You got it. Okay. Says, I'll tell you what, friend. I'm gonna give you my card. And he comes out with this, like, his hand opens up and just like this like card.
Whoa.
And if you, the moment
We lost you for a second there,
have
Jason.
me-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start over. Says, I'll tell you what, friend. And he holds out his hand, and this card, this like the card just kind of appears in his hand. It says, I'm going to give you my card, my info. When you come across a need for a wagon, any need whatsoever, I will give you one wagon for free. All right? You keep that card now, and you let me know. Yep.
She-
How
B?
good quality are these wagons? Because, like I said, I got a 13 on my perception check to see if I heard the name. I come from
Okay.
a farm.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So you might have had a Ricky Diggett's wagon on your farm at one point or another. He was he had a very prolific business, and they fell apart. They were supposed to last 10 years. They lasted 2. It's just like the wheels came off. The fittings were out. The seats were like coming unbolted. They were very cheaply made wagons, but they were marketed as the finest product on the market. Let me tell you.
I'll just look over and say, Elspeth, I don't think you need one of those wagons. Needing no offense to Mr. Diggett's here, but
I'm gonna say, can I see your card?
While all of this is
Yeah.
going on, Elspeth is just like, if I take that card, it will be in order to report you to the authorities for attempting to sell again wagons which you are not entitled to or authorized to sell by the houses. So maybe you should talk to someone who doesn't know where you've been, and so that I don't have to hear you. Thank you. And she will resume her
Here's
seat.
that. Yeah, you got it. Says, I gotta tell you, I admire that tenacity. That's a fire you got in you that's gonna serve you well throughout your days. However, I do want to be real clear. Let me be very clear and specific. At no point during our conversation did I say, sell you a wagon. Did I not? I said I was going to give you one for free. Right? My card, madam. And
He said you needed a wagon?
Right?
But he didn't say that he
You
was
have a
going to sell
need for
you
a
one.
wagon. It's going to tell you what. He said he would give you one for free. He said he wanted to know if you would need one. He didn't actually attempt to sell you a wagon.
What does
He
it?
reaches over and he hands the card to Fist.
What does the card say?
It says, Ricky Diggett's finest wagons in all the land. Integrity you can count on.
You can count to 1 as well.
And exactly how are you obtaining said wagons?
Well, like any other hardworking individual, I might farm them myself, build them myself. Might have people who care for me, or might have people in my employ who create these wagons.
Can I do an insight? I want to see if maybe he's been stealing some here and there.
Yeah, you bet. Go ahead and run an insight check.
Oof, nope. That's a 3.
Okay.
Time to switch out the dice.
Okay. As far as you can tell, he's being perfectly straight with you. You don't trust him. I mean, you don't have to roll a dice to know this dude's probably lying through his teeth. You just can't pick up on anything specific that he's done, and he's obviously being very careful. You're also very aware of that. B. Sorry, which way? Justice. What's up?
Just will look up and say, we had a cousin that bought one of your wagons, had a 10-year warranty on it, and that thing lasted maybe 2 seasons before it fell apart. We tried to call and we tried to have it serviced, and nobody ever came out. So I'm starting to wonder about the quality of the product that you are not hawking here, sir.
Wow. And he seems shocked. He says, I am so sorry that happened to you. I cannot believe it. I am terribly sorry about that. You know what? I want to make this good for you. I want to make this real square right now. How much did your family pay for that wagon?
While this is happening, Elspeth uses the cantrip message, directs the following to Justice. If you talk to this man inside this car for any longer than the next 3 seconds, I will set you both on fire.
And you're going to see him open his mouth to respond, get the message, pause, and say, you know what, sir? Actually, maybe this isn't the discussion to be having right here, specifically right now. Do you have one of those cards that I can take just to get a hold of you later? You gave one to, and he'll point over to Fist.
Yep. With a flick of his wrist, a card just appears in his hand, and he quickly walks it in his fingers up to between his index and middle finger, and that's right to you.
I will take it and say,
in fact, I think that one's got your name on it.
It actually had my name on it?
You look at it, and it literally says, "For Justice."
So happy. Aww. He will kind of goggle momentarily, and then he'll say, thank you kindly, sir. And then he'll kind of take his drink, go, give Elspeth just a look of what the fuck, I had this handled. Not say it, out loud, but he'll just be like, and then take his whiskey and kind of petulantly sit down and go drink it.
Fist is gonna...
Now you let me know, and I want to make this right.
Sir.
Fist is gonna step up close to this guy so that she only has to whisper, and she says, your name is going to be added to a watch list in Fairhaven. Mark my words.
He says, oh, ma'am, my name's on a lot of lists. And trust me, I'm quite used to being watched. In fact, I think he kind of thinks about it and says, yes, indeed, I'm quite used to being watched. He goes kind of into a thoughtful gaze. And then he kind of chugs down the rest of his, throws back his glass and drinks down the rest of his drink, slams it down on the counter, and says, y'all have a great night now. All right. And he looks back at Justice and says, you be in touch. I'm here to make this right. And he walks back and exits through this door here to the back, which incidentally is the way to the second class car.
So is the front of the train towards where that piano is?
Yes.
And the back of the
front
train
of the train is that way. It is towards the piano. Back of the train, yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say out loud once he exits, I have no intention of actually calling this man, just to be clear.
I'm gonna pocket the card and then just take a seat.
And the second car is the first class. Like
it is the next car.
Indian first class dining.
No, this
let me
is first
check.
class.
The next car. Yeah, sorry. The next car is the galley, and then the car beyond that is second class. The passenger car. Going forward, the opposite direction. The next car is first class. Is the first class car. We're kind of staying in where we're staying. Very last car is cargo.
Ah.
And then on the other side, the very front car is the engine.
Mm-hmm. This is my train. This is my train. It's just lines.
And there you go. It's good. All right. So with that, Egan kind of raises his glass and takes the final sip and says, "Well, that's quite enough excitement for me for one evening. I will retire. Good night, all." And he stands up and kind of goes to join the rest of his people. Mm-hmm. Okay, the night is kind of drawing to a close. Uh-huh.
Did I happen to overhear Ricky Diggett says his name? I wouldn't have been paying attention to it. I'm over here, and I have a 15 passive, but I wouldn't have been paying attention to the conversation.
He's pretty loud. Let's put it to the dice. Go ahead and run a quick check on that, if you would. Perception.
I just rolled a 3, so that is perception a 3.
Okay. Just a 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, it looks like the commotion of the conversation, the ambience of the train, and just kind of moving. You heard a lot of yelling, but you're pretty focused on your conversation partner at the time. So it looks like that detail escaped you. The name escaped you. But it was just a big, burly-looking, prolific dude, just kind of like a John Goodman, salesman character kind of
salesman from Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Right, Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Yeah, maybe a little, a little more genuine, but still, a little bit
murdery.
Just kind of like that. Right. Maybe a little less, not so murdery, not.
Oh, Jason, you froze.
Did everyone hear me? You guys cut out a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're back.
Less murdery, more fraudish.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good. So the night is kind of people are beginning to kind of.
Are you saying that out loud?
Wagons were what?
No, because I wouldn't have heard who he is, but I bet the wagons that he was selling were used.
That's why I was trying to find out if I could tell if they were stolen or not.
Oh, well, I was just implying used car salesman.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with a used wagon.
Yep. The emblems are beautiful, though. They're like solid brass, finely crafted. Ricky Diggett's finely crafted wagons. Integrity you can count on.
Apparently not.
All right. Is there anything anybody wants to do before advancing the time? The night is kind of winding down. What's everyone's plans for the evening?
I'm gonna continue. I will be the last person to leave this car.
I plan on finishing my drink, going back to the bar, and asking for something much warmer. I am still cold-blooded, so I need to heat myself up a little bit more before the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah. So when you do that, the individual behind the counter, it kind of looks at you puzzlingly a little bit, or it just says, "Sweet or savory?"
Ooh, sweet. Really be wonderful. Help my metabolism.
Yeah, he reaches behind him and comes out with a canister, and pops the lid on it, and gets a scoop of this sweet-smelling brown powder. He puts that into a small mug of boiling water, boiling hot water. Comes out piping hot and steams, and it smells wonderful. He mixes the powder into the water and kind of reaches in with a stirring stick. And at first, it kind of clumps up into small clumps, but he stirs it vigorously, and it turns into this lovely brown liquid that smells delightfully sweet and incredibly warm and comforting. And he hands it your way.
I wrap my clawed fingers around the mug, just try to hold it close to my chest, and just try and soak in as much heat from this cup and boiling mug of deliciousness as most as possible. And my tongue has been flicking in and out this whole time, like seeing the minute particles, that the powder that flies into the air, and I've been enjoying the whole experience.
It's hot, the touch, but not too hot. Incredibly comforting and delicious to the taste.
Perfect for me.
All right, Justice. What we do wrapping up the evening?
Hey, Elspeth, are you going back? Because, and he'll actually stand up and approach at this point. He's big. He big boy. And so he'll kind of just look over her shoulder as she's playing and just kind of, and then say, I'm probably going to go get a second drink and head on back. Did you know that man back there was eating the plastic plant?
I didn't realize it was plastic at first.
Oh, no judgment. Oh, shit, you heard me.
It's okay.
Why do I care?
One of them colorful confetti of people that we're currently sharing a dining car with. I figured that you would just might be interested.
You don't seem to understand that the whole purpose of public transit is to not interact with anyone you do not wish to on public transit and to not involve yourself in their affairs. So, you look
it's called
straight
public
forward,
transit
you
and
mind
not
yourself.
private transit.
Right?
Precisely. So,
That just
you
missed the point
ignore
that I
their
was
business and you carry on with your own and you leave them to it, and if they involve you, you politely suggest they take it elsewhere. And if they insist, you politely suggest that they do so before you set them on fire.
There it is. He's just going to say, just kind of quietly.
There you go.
So to answer your question, I will be collecting my meal. I will be returning to my room. I will be sleeping. And that will be it for me.
Right. How much longer is this train ride again?
One more day.
Was Justice
Fantastic.
asking... I was going to say, was
Yes.
Justice asking Elspeth?
Yeah.
Because if he really was, she was just going to be like, really, you're asking, are we there yet?
Okay.
Stand up to his full height, slightly insulted. And we'll say, well, I look forward to making your acquaintance again tomorrow. And not in a huff, but, clearly dismissed from this whole thing. He will look at you, Xylix, say, have a good night. Hope you find something more substantial. And
I just raise my mug at you and flick my tongue in and out a bunch.
look past you, little robot man. Give you a thumbs up.
My non-existent face exudes. Please tell me about your shock over the lizard man eating a plastic plant. I will listen.
And as tempting as it is to gossip, he's still right there. Go over to the bar and then say, give me a double this time. Can I take that cup to go?
Oh, it's definitely that kind of night, bartender says, and reaches back. Says, here, take the bottle. And it looks like it's maybe halfway full, and hands it your way with what looks to be. He reaches into a different bin. Looks like there's a bin down there of cups that they don't mind letting leave the bar. And it says, have a good night.
This was a big, solid favor that got done to him. He understands how this works. He will kind of just nod, take the bottle, go into his coin purse, take out a gold. Because that's, I'm assuming, still a lot of money here in Eberron. I know it is in Forgotten Realms, but I'm assuming it is here too. maybe.
Oh, it's
I didn't just tip the guy like 50
yeah,
cents.
it's right. The economy is he's grateful for it. He
Cool.
yeah, he says thank you. He looks at it as
Thank
a
you.
tip.
Okay, and will slowly make his way over to the door. Look, if he's paying for his own transport, he is almost certainly not in first class. So he'll go bunk with his buddy Ricky Diggets. No, he won't, but he will make his way back.
Right.
He will make his way back out with his bottle in tow.
This a Queequeg and Ishmael situation?
Is there Mrs. Queequeg?
Justice and Ricky Diggett.
Well, you never know, right? Ricky's just looking to make good where he can right about now.
Ricky Diggett's Justice OTP.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, good. Making your way back to first class car, you find your cabin, and begin to bed down for the night. Let's see, Elspeth. Anything you'd like to do to close out the evening?
No. No, this has been far more than she wanted to deal with. She is trying not to do anything untoward right now to anyone, including the train itself.
Okay. Cool. Okay, it's good.
Lightning rail.
That's very
Lightning
fair.
rail. Excellent. Okay, making your way to the first class car, finding your cabin, bedding down for the night. Gilzath, anything you'd like to do?
I noticed that there appears to be a lingering person here who looks like they could use a friend.
Okay.
And boy, would I like to be that person.
You got it. Okay. Yeah, you bet. Let's see. They kind of look at you a little confusingly, and they're kind of munching down their last meal, the last bite of their meal. You kind of perceive that they're finishing up and looking to get going back to sleep. But what do you say? Tell me how you engage.
I introduce myself. I ask for their name. I'm like, wow, that commotion earlier, that was crazy. Where you headed? Yeah. How's your meal? What's your daughter's first name? You know, all of the things.
Sure. All the things. Okay. Yeah. Give me a quick, let's do a charisma check real quick for that.
I am not the best of rolling tonight on anything other than sleight of hand, which will always be excellent. But that would be +2 is an 11.
Okay. All right. It's not.
There it goes.
However, this is getting quite late in the night. This person really wants to.
He's back.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but we lost. We lost the first part of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a mid-range roll at a decent hour. This might spark some decent conversation. However, at this late hour, this person just really wants to go to bed. Listen, I'll be back around here tomorrow. Feel free to look for me. We can talk then. If you don't mind, I'm quite tired and ready to retire for the evening.
Absolutely. You have a great night, sir and/or ma'am. I can't really tell from the token.
I would just like it if that's how they addressed everybody.
Sir and/or ma'am. Yep.
Sir and/or ma'am.
We do show.
Right. Yeah, and then, they look back and they kind of look you up and down a bit and say thank you, and make their way back towards move back towards the first class car.
Ooh, first class car.
DM, real quick.
Yeah.
I would have obviously noticed this person as soon as they sat down across from me. Can I just roll like a quick insight to see if I noticed anything suspicious or dangerous about them when they sat across from me?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll that check.
It was a 5. I'm not rolling well tonight either. Jesus.
Okay. You're quite certain this person is an imposter. You're not sure exactly what. You don't have quite enough information just yet, but they're probably here committing some kind of insurance fraud.
All right.
Thus.
Do it.
I'm just going to follow after them.
An innocent man's gonna get killed.
Yep.
I'm not gonna kill him.
This is murder on the Eberron Express.
Well, we know who did it. Case closed.
I'm pretty much gonna follow a little bit distance behind and just make sure they're, like, going into their own room and not trying to cause any trouble.
Sure. Yeah. Are you being? Tell me how you're following.
Like I
Just
said,
kind of trying to be normal, or just kind of see?
Yeah, I'm trying to look like I'm just going to my own room, which I am gonna end up doing afterwards, but I'm gonna follow at a distance, but try to be, like, nonchalant about it.
Okay. Okay, you got it. Okay. Yeah, so they just they kind of notice you there when they begin to enter their cabin, and they kind of watch you it's like they kind of notice that you're kind of following and stuff.
I'll keep going as they stop at their cabin and just be like, excuse me, and try to walk by. And
you got it. Okay. Yeah, and as you kind of walk by, they have kind of a knowing look in their eye a little bit, and they just kind of step into their cabin and they kind of look back at you and they say, I just got tested. You don't want this. And they close the door.
They have COVID. That's the real murderer.
Oh, yeah.
I clock that as extremely suspicious.
Okay. All right. Good. You see the light turn out. They appear to be going to bed.
Appear to be. I'm gonna take a moment. Actually, no. I'm gonna go back to my room. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Got it. Making your way back to your cabin. Who is left? Do we have anybody else in the train who we haven't adjusted? That's everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. We have just a couple minutes left, but the night you've each kind of bed down. It's been kind of an eventful evening. Lots of conversation, lots of strange, lots of new information kind of flying about. The night kind of settles in. The windows of your cabin begin to darken as the sun fades beyond the horizon, and the details of the landscape begin to kind of fade into the blackness of night. Eventually, sleep overtakes you. Sleep, meditation, that state that some of you enter into, that simply wait like Chuck Norris. Soon, your eyes are hit with that light of the next dawn. And just as the sun begins to rise above the opposite horizon, let's see, Gilzaf, what you got?
I want to know if I can just be in the dining car powered off for the night. When you come back in the morning, hi, I'm here.
Do you need to plug in the back? Is that a thing? Like a little charging port?
They have charging ports on each car, conveniently located.
Sorry, I just had to add that, but
Okay.
now you can actually set the rest of it.
Okay. You bet. Okay. So yeah. I mean, if you need to, just stay on the dining car and recharge.
I'm gonna go first. Please.
Okay, you got it. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. Morning breaks. We are just about out of time. In the morning, there is a commotion outside your cabins. Something terrible has happened. You hear the yelling of the conductor calling for help. Help! Help! It's been a terrible tragedy. A terrible
spring
deed.
out of bed and
Yeah.
rush to the sound of
Okay. There's just a slight commotion in the towards the front of the first class car, and as you look beyond into the portals that kind of open up that gateway, that dimensional gateway between cars, and for a brief moment you can see into the engine, and you can see just a couple people kind of standing over what looks like a body. You recognize the shoes. You recognize you're certain that this is Egan.
Is it Ricky?
Egan has been murdered.
Which one
Ricky.
is this guy?
The inventor dude who
Egan was
screws
the-
over his
was
people.
The jerk.
And everybody was
Gotcha.
really upset with it.
I am so
Okay.
glad that I talked to him now.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So with that, as we are out of time, we'll close out for the night. We'll meet up on our next session. We'll have to figure out when we're going to do this particular adventure again, and find out as you begin to endeavor to solve the mystery of who murdered Egan Bacchus. I think his name is.
Oh, alright.
Cool. So with that, I'll turn the time back over to our gracious host.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your patience for the beginning difficulties we were dealing with. But we appreciate you joining us for this new adventure, which is introducing you to new characters that will be in a new campaign coming up one of these days. So I hope you enjoy these characters, because you will be seeing more of them in the future. Unless, one of them dies on this train.
Not if I can help it.
Murder.
I don't know. We tried to push Tuwali down a flight of stairs, but he ended up murdering everyone.
Right.
All right. But yes, thank you again, and we hope to see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. on this channel for Falcon's one-shot, Alex's one-shot, Over the Underdark.
Yes.
So, yes. Tune in again tomorrow. And with that, I am Beluga, and in this instance, I am playing Fist. Fist of the Queen, a dwarf, Mark of Warding, barbarian monk. And I'm passing this off to Alex.
Okay.
And Laura, you're next.
Thank you.
Do it like I'm new to the scene here. Do I follow the
There's really
cameras on stream or?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just know that usually Laura and B need a little bit of preparation before I call on them, so...
Gotcha. Okay, well then, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I am Falcon, your resident role-player guild member, who is playing Xylek, the nature druid, or nature cleric, stars druid, lizard folk. Still kind of testing them out, and I'm liking his. And that'll be to Laura next then.
Hello, I'm Laura. I just played Gilseth, and his neck may be made out of brass, but he is a rubbernecker. So, that is my shtick. Beast turn. It's Beast turn.
Man,
Hi, still B. Technically, I think you can still find me on Twitter, although X. But I don't remember the last time I logged in there, so maybe you shouldn't try and find me on there. With that said, I am B/Brassic Arts. Sometimes I do art. I am playing Justice, aka Anti-Mila, the half-orc paladin who is having the absolute time of his life among all these friggin' weirdos. Oh god, do I have to? I'm just gonna pass this on to my nameless, faceless spouse.
Yes.
Go, nameless, faceless spouse.
He's got a face. We can at least see the face.
No, I joke. He has a face.
I have a
just
face.
nameless.
What the hell? Why would you do that to me?
She's gonna draw you without a face next.
That's fine. That means at least then she'd have finished the drawing for me.
Wow.
Oh.
Drawings for you before, also.
Have you? Have you finished
Yes.
them?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause marital problems.
This is not the time or the place. Go introduce
It
yourself.
is. It is. Because it's Jason's turn now.
Oh,
My
what?
turn. Oh boy.
Light.
All right. Hey, all. My name is Jason, your gracious DM and grateful DM. Thank you all so much for being with us tonight, for gaming with us, and participating and helping and witnessing this wonderful adventure. As always, I will see you next time, and it is great. Thank you all so much.
Yeah.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.